Hey, this is Hurdy Bart. It is June 23rd. It is 2015. It is a Tuesday, and we want to welcome all the folks on. We have some listeners, and this is the Hurdy Bart Internet Broadcast Network, and we are going to be interviewing Top Hat Chimney Sweeps Royal Pour tonight. We're going to be, our top-notch staff, producers, came up with some great questions. That'd be you, Royal. Thank you very much. And before I get to him, I want to thank our exclusive sponsor for 2015, which is CPR Cell Phone Repair, located in Round Rock, Texas. They're at La Frontera. They can fix cracked screens, water damage, iPods, iPhones. They have great surgeons that can take those phones apart, get them back fixed up. You can find them at cprcellphonerepair.com. Cellphonerepair.com. Just go check out the website, and those guys will take care of you. And we want to thank CPR Cell Phone Repair in Round Rock for being our exclusive sponsors. That is cellphonerepair.com. Royale, welcome to the show, man.
No, thank you. Thank you for letting me be on.
Well, the cool thing is you're on a phone, so you don't have to feel like you're in a studio, right? Some radio studio. You don't have people staring at you, and you don't get all messed up with that stuff, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's cool. Yes, I can. All right, so we're getting ready to get started tonight. First of all, we want to get to the questions that you've asked us for your business tonight. And the first one I want to talk to you about is the name of the business is Top Hat Chimney Sweeps. Can you tell us how long you've been in business and a little bit about the business?
Yes, it's a family-owned business, and it's been around since 1988. I've been doing it for about 15 years, and I've just now owned the business for 3 years now.
Wow. And so it started, where was it started? Is it here in Texas, Austin, or?
Yes, it was in the Austin area.
That's awesome. So was this passed down to you a little bit, or did you just involved with it and it just got slowly turned over to you?
Yeah, so I bought the business from my father-in-law, so
that's awesome.
Got it.
I love your logo.
Thank you.
By the way, you guys can't visualize this. We'll put it up on the player, but it's a top hat hanging off the T with chimney sweeps. It's just really thought out. It's black with red. It's just really cool. It gets your attention. I like that so much. So I know you gave us some questions on some real important stuff, but what basic services, Royale, do you guys provide?
Well, what we provide is the chimney cleanings, the inspections, the repairs, and that we also do dryer vent cleanings, the repairs and reroutes on those as well.
So you actually can get, we're going to talk about the client dryer vents, but you can actually do reroutes on dryer vents, things of that nature then too?
That is correct, yes, sir.
All right, that's awesome. So, listen, I know this for a fact. Matter of fact, we had somebody in another network group stand up today and say that somebody's house caught on fire because their dryer caught on fire. And the reason is the dryer had been sitting there for 7 years and never been cleaned. Why have we not heard much about cleaning our dryer vents? How is that possible that that's not put out there since it's such a hazard?
Well, before, on that, they used to have it to where it was just exit straight out, so not very many people knew that it actually needed to be cleaned, and that now all the homes nowadays are starting to where they're they have the dryer in the middle of the home, so it's starting to exit out straight through the roof, or if it's 2 stories, it'll run in between the 2 floors. So it's making it a longer run, and it's building a lot more length. So that's why.
So, yeah, so you could have runs up to like 30, 40 feet even, correct?
Yes, we have ran into those before.
What a pain. But I know what the process is, but so you're saying that the older homes that used to be, the vent was connected to the inside deal, went right straight through the wall and out, right? It was just like a foot. So you didn't have to worry about it too much. Just reach your hand in there and clean it out from the outside and be done with it, right? But,
exactly.
But now these houses are sophisticated with all these dryers and washers being put in middle homes and stuff, so it's just a long way for all that lint to go over a long period of time.
Yes, that's so it's just an easier access for, residents or
Now, I have a fun question for you on that.
Yes.
What's the most, I don't know if you pick it up and put it in bags, what's the most you pushed out of a dryer vent? How much?
Oh, I've filled up a trash bag, that's for sure.
Really?
Yep, and then that also with the bird's nest that build up inside of there too whenever they come out the side.
I was going to say that's probably got to be a common problem too at the vent pipe at the end, or the little wiring that protects that end, or the vent pipe breaks off. I get a lot. I bet you get rats, birds, all sorts of critters that want a home right on the edge of that, don't you?
They sure do, and then that's how it warms their eggs while they be able to fly out.
That's amazing. Incubator.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so how do you know and when a dryer vent needs to be cleared? Because a lot of people, dryers automatically heat up a little bit on top of a dryer element, right? But how do you know when a dryer vent absolutely needs to be cleaned?
Well, if you've never got it cleaned before, I think it's time for you to get that done. And
Right.
usually we can be able to come out and take a look at it, and once we see how it runs or how it's routed, then that'll give us an idea of when it needs or how it needs to be cleaned.
Are there classic symptoms for the dryer itself?
That's right. The classics on those is where you can kind of notice if it's hot to the touch or if you have to do more cycles to dry your clothes. That's a good indication that lets you know that it's time to
Yeah, like if you put it on for 30 minutes to dry on the heat, right, and then at the end you still got damp clothes, that could be a big indication that it's not getting the air in it and it's getting clogged up. That makes total sense. So if it gets really hot too,
Yep.
right?
That's correct.
All right, cool. And so what is the furthest, and this is my question, what's the furthest you've had to push stuff out on a dryer vent? How far?
Oh, how far of cleaning it?
35. But like my apartment, when I had mine cleaned, it was 40 feet from inside to the outside.
Yes, I've had that before. So they'll have that run that has a very long run for some of those. And like I said, they try to put them right in the middle of the house. So sometimes if it's a pretty big size home, it's a pretty long run for it.
Yeah, I can imagine. And so do you guys also, while you're with a client doing the dryer vent, the long vent, you guys also clean out the dryer itself and also the piece that connects to the pipe that goes, the link goes out? Do you take care of all that also?
That is correct. We'll move the dryer out, and that we have a vacuum that helps. We'll open up the dryer itself and where the lint catcher is. A lot of times whenever there's a lot of lint that builds up on there, whenever you pull that up, sometimes it falls down and it falls inside the dryer. And so you got that big clump that's just built up, that's building up inside your dryer, and it makes it harder for your dryer to be able to exhaust out.
And it's a fire hazard.
That's correct, yep. And so if any buttons build a spark, and you know how lint is, it's very flammable.
It burns like gasoline, right?
Once you hit that, if there's any lint around, it'll catch it all and take it down pretty quick.
And that's a common fire, correct?
That is correct.
Wow. Okay. So from a dryer vent standpoint, how long should people go between making sure it gets cleared and cleaned?
It should be, well, I recommend yearly to get it cleaned. But when we get out there as well, we can see how long of a distance it is or how many turns there are, because the more turns there are, the more that lint has to hit, and it'll start to build up in those corners. So once we get out there, we can be able to figure out how often it actually needs to be cleaned. So if you do a lot of towels or anything like that, a lot of lint builds up from towels.
Absolutely. Or if you just wash a lot, you have a lot of kids, you got to put clothes in tons of times every day, right? And keep it motoring. I get that. All right. So involved in the dryer vent cleaning, a lot of people are DIYs, right? Do-it-yourselfers. And why should a DIY get it professionally clean, when there's all this do-it-yourself equipment on the market today?
Well, they do have those brushes out there, and that is a good question. On the ones that are straight out, that's not a problem. They can be able to brush it. But when it's a longer run, they're running that rod up there. They don't know what's inside that wall, and if they do those turns, if they don't get where they need to go, it could make it worse. It can clog it, and then that could make it harder, or it could damage the piping as well, and then the cost will be a lot more to get it repaired. And
I have a personal story for you. You'll like this. With an apartment, my dryer was overheating. I knew that. I called them. They looked at it and said, "Oh, it's just the heating element." I said, No, not the heating element. I want you to go get your stuff and push it out of the pipe. They did. 3 garbage bags of stuff came out. So I'm just saying, from the standpoint of a Hurdy Burke story, get your dryer done, all right? Still with me?
Yes, I'm still here, definitely.
All right, so let's get into what the top hat chimney sweep stuff. I love this. I tell every time I think of chimney sweeps, well, I think of Mary Poppins. I watched that movie as a kid a lot, okay? Hope you'll forgive me, but liked it. So why should a fireplace be inspected and cleaned?
Well, for the safety as well, it's recommended yearly to do that to make sure that nothing is obstructing it. You never know what's going to happen up at the very top of it. Not very many people go up there, and that also just in checking the inside of the firebox. Doing those inspections is really key, real important to do.
And how do you inspect them? Do you use optic fiber lights with cameras? How do you go about looking at the chimney all the way from top to bottom?
Well, we do have a camera that we can be able to go down inside of there and be able to inspect it, and we can also look from inside and looking straight up.
Right.
Go up on top of the roof and take the caps off and look down inside. We just do a full inspection of all of it.
And I guess what I'm asking is, what would a not clean chimney look like when you look down inside or up inside of it? What would you see?
It would have a lot of creosote buildup. I mean, you'll see the walls are not smooth at all, and they're really rough. That's a lot of creosote buildup, and what happens is it builds gas pockets. And whenever you start lighting more fires, if any of those sparks get to those gas pockets, it could start catching on fire. And it'll sound like fireworks popping off, and then after a while, it'll sound like a little tornado running inside of there.
And that's not good.
No, it could damage quite a bit inside there.
And I know. What's that?
It's always good to keep those safe on that, for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, anytime you're dealing with stuff that can cause your home burn down, you want to make sure you take care of it, right? So, and the best time to get a chimney cleaned is when?
Well, the summertime is the best time to get it cleaned, because whenever the winter comes, that's when a lot of people remember, hey, it's time to get it cleaned. So then at that, we start getting booked out a little farther out, and then at that, whenever they want to try to get it.
So do it in the summer, and don't wait for 2 weeks for me to get to you.
Yes.
Which is awesome. You love it either way, but call me in the summer, we'll get it done, and you don't have to worry about it. That's awesome.
That's right.
Okay, there's different, I didn't know this. I knew there was different shapes of fireplaces, but you got on this question that there's different types of fireplaces, and how would I know which one I have?
Well, there's actually 2 types. There's a prefab and there's a masonry, and the prefab is a prefabricated firebox. It'll have a round cap up on top that's kind of an indication, or also if you can look inside your firebox and you see panels inside of there, and it's a brick pattern where it's just a plate that's inside of there. That's how you know it's a prefab. Masonry is a much bigger firebox, and also you'll see fire bricks, and they have an angle that comes towards you. That's another indication, or that's a way to know that if it's a masonry or if it's got a square cap up on top.
All right. So I haven't seen how they do these things lately, but on the inside of a fireplace, is the fabricated ones have a metal tube that runs in between the masonry, or and there are types where it's got fire masonry inside. It's just straight up brick all the way, or is there some sort of coating? How does that? I don't understand. What do they do inside the actual chimney?
Well, for a masonry chimney, it's an actual. They have the brickwork or rock on the outside, and that's the outside shell of it. And then you have your inside firebox, and it has a flue. It's usually clay tiles that run all the way to the very top. And
all right.
So it's got two separate, basically a shell on the outside, and then your flue on the inside of it.
Awesome.
And
but they still both have to be clean.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, the inside of your flue itself definitely needs to be completely cleaned out, and if it's the very top, you never know. That's the reason why inspecting it is always good, because up at the top, where the mortar or the crown where the flue is, where it comes out, sometimes that gets pretty damaged, and a lot of water can start causing damages inside the home.
And are you guys, Royal, able to take care of those, or does that have to be contracted out if you do find a problem, or do you guys have people to do that for you?
No, yes, we can be able to do that. We can do the repairs on that.
So you can turnkey a fireplace that needs some help or some work. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so I've been wanting to ask you this. I haven't had a chance to ask you this in a network group. So what is the enjoyable part about being a sweep? And I guess that's what they call you, right, a sweep?
That's correct. And it's, well, what I really enjoy is, we go in there and we clean it up, and also knowing that being able to give the education and the safety to the customers as well is very satisfaction.
Right, and so you get to deal with cool people, right?
And they're very happy with us after we leave.
Right, and the peace of mind, right? They've got the dryer taken care of, they've got the chimney taken care of, and hey, they got a trustworthy company they work with. You've been doing this how long? 15 years or so? How long for you?
Yeah, for 15 years for myself, and it's been around for 27 years.
So you guys got all this experience. Now, what is the question that wasn't sent me is, what is your area of service, if you don't mind me asking?
The Austin surrounding, we can go pretty far out. We usually go about 30 miles out of Austin.
And that's either direction from Austin? Doesn't matter?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay. But you won't go like all the way up to Waco, Florida. You won't go all the way to San Antonio, right?
Yeah,
you just stay within 30.
Yeah, just 30 miles.
Carroll. Yeah. Okay, got it. All right. And so, do you wear the top hat?
We sure do, and we wear it.
Is that part of the uniform and the cool look?
That's right. Yep. And
that's awesome.
Happy to see it.
Do you have people wanting to take selfies with you?
Yep, they sure do.
Do you post those on your Facebook page or something so everybody can see how much business you're doing, or do they send you a copy, or do you take it yourself? Or what is there kind of a little? I guess what I'm saying is, there kind of a normal thing you do with your clients to get a picture of them, or they just do it and you say, it's no big deal?
Yeah, no, they just want to take a picture, and that they want to show proof that there was a chimney sweep at their house.
Right. Now, that's the top hat. Is there something else that goes on a uniform for a sweep? Is there certain clothing you have to wear?
Oh, no. We do wear the coattails, but we start wearing those during the winter time.
Now, are you the sole sweep for your company, or do you guys have multiple people working for you, multiple staff, multiple cleaning trucks, or is it just you?
Oh no, it's multiple. I have another gentleman that's out that helps with me as well, and we're definitely growing and expanding the business.
The other thing is, I'm going to be linking your website on the Custom Player. Would you mind telling us where people can find you? Do you have an actual website they can go to?
Yes, they can go to www.tophatchimneysweeps.net.
Awesome. And I guess you're on Facebook?
Oh, yes, we sure are.
Okay, you're on Facebook. I'll link that for you tonight after the show. And so these guys can find you just about anywhere. I have one question. I always try to give a surprise question to my guest, Royal. What's the funniest job or something that happened that you'll just never forget when you were doing a sweep or doing something with a dryer? What's the funniest thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh.
Come on, 15 years, got to be something that stands out, right?
Yes, I know.
There's got to be something.
I'm trying to think. You got me on that one. No, I know that
I mean, have you ever had soot fall on your face when you're looking at a pennant? Have you ever had a bat fly down and smack you in the head? Have you ever had, just something? There's got to be something funny.
I was stuck down inside the chimney whenever I had to reline the chimney.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, we were trying to reline the chimney, and then that got stuck down inside of there.
So how'd you get out?
Get back out, and it was just funny that happened.
I mean, were you physically stuck in there and had to be pulled out?
Oh, well, no, I mean, I finally got out. I had another worker. He helped me get the rest of the way out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you guys actually crawl down in these things at all?
Now, we can't physically go down a flue, but if we have
so they're too tight, yeah.
They're too small, but if we have to do a reline, replacing the whole clay tiles, then yes, we can get down inside of there if it's...
Yeah, because they're bigger and they're designed for you to get in those, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So Austin's growing. We have a lot of people moving here buying homes, and that some of them are buying them even though they've had a home inspector in. And do you work with some other types of business people that are out, like home inspectors or anything like that?
Yes, we do.
Generally, how do you market yourself, is what I'm asking.
Yes, we do work with realtors, and at that we are trying to get connected with all the apartments as well, being able to help them with their dryer vents, and we are connected to inspectors as well for when people move in, so that's a good...
Right. That way there's peace of mind. If they have an inspection report, you guys can get that fixed either before somebody moves in or before the buyer can sell it, right? So all that works in your favor too, right?
That's correct. And we have a sheet and we have a diagram for them so they know what we inspected on their chimney.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you get called in on home inspections for that part of it sometimes?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So you not only work directly with the B to customer, right? You also work B to B through people who are doing the home inspection. So you've got kind of, do you do commercial dryer vents or anything, or is it all home?
No, we do commercial as well.
You do commercial as well? Okay. Hey, I told you this wouldn't take long tonight, right?
Yes.
And I think the cool thing is that we got some great information, and I want to tell folks that I've met Royals in one of my network groups, a cool guy, and this is super great information for folks. I doubt seriously if most folks think about that dryer vent and probably need to be reminded about their bringing a sweep in for their chimney too, Royale. And so I want to thank you for being on the show tonight and the podcast. And Royal, thanks for being a guest tonight. I appreciate you and appreciate you being on the show. And we want to thank our listeners for being on the Hurdy-Burk Internet Broadcast Network. We want to thank our guest, Royal Pour from Top Hat Chimney Sweeps. I will have their site connected on the custom player. If you guys want to direct your friends over to listen to it on my Facebook group also, it's Hurdy, Hurdie, Burk, B-U-R-K, Broadcast Network. And I have a Facebook group there, but Royal's going to get his own player and link so he can share it with his friends. And I want to thank you for being on tonight, Royal, once again, and have a wonderful evening, okay?
You too. Thanks a lot, Hurdy.
All right, buddy. Good night.
Good night.